Eric Berg, you were asking about SLA monitoring for upstream dependencies.
Yeah, our CFO has talked to me about that, wanting to be able to make claims and related, defend claims by customers. But that's pretty much taken care of by Datadog.
Yeah.
Um, we were thinking of setting up something to regularly check, but I think we're probably at this point just going to post events or a metric if a third party is down, because you know that's
Yeah.
why I'm here asking what you guys think.
So actually, it's interesting you bring up the latter. That was going to be the first suggestion I have, and I'll show you a way you could go about doing that, perhaps. The other is using then synthetics. So Datadog synthetics, you could write up to somehow query that third-party service. The challenge is, what you want to do is get to the meat of the problem that's impacting your service. Whether their marketing site is online or not, that doesn't really, help you. What you want to know is that their API is returning responses in, 200 milliseconds or less or something, and how often is
Right.
that violated. So for
Right. And
that, yeah, go on.
well, I was going to say, what I was thinking was that you could have a set of one or more, endpoints that you would be hitting. To your point, because you need to define what it is that constitutes upness or downness, but you also have to consider that synthetics are expensive, and
Yeah,
depending on your interval, you can like quickly, chew through your budget in like a day if you're not careful.
yeah.
um, yeah, that's one of the things.
So, two things for your consideration, especially if you want it for like transparency reasons, is looking at what you get with OpsGenie. So, or two things, OpsGenie and status page. So, in what you can get with, let me see if this logs me in this time. With OpsGenie is you can pull in events or alerts from any service that uses statuspage.io because statuspage.io is an Atlassian company.
Right, we had actually, I didn't know that you could do this directly from OpsGenie, and one of the hacks we put in place was to subscribe an OpsGenie service or team to the statuspage.io email alerts.
Yeah. So if you have an enterprise OpsGenie account, which sounds super, super expensive, but compared to like PagerDuty, it's not bad. And compared to some others. And then you have these external services here. So here are like some that I've added that we depend on. And you'll find quite a library of services available here that you can, add. I don't know, like yeah, so you depend on Shopify, bam, click that. Now you'll get the incidents for that. And the other thing is if you have a status page, like here's CodeFresh's status page. 99% of the companies that I come across that have status pages are just using statuspage.io. And when you depend on statuspage.io, uh, your status page can become the composite of all the services you depend on. Much the same way I was doing that in OpsGenie. So this is a great way that you can convey to your customers, look, this is the state of affairs for everything that we're doing right now.
Gotcha. That's great. Thanks.
Cool.
I think that's
I
overkill.
Uh,
Like, are you gonna spend money on CloudWatch synthetics to hit an API every minute when you might only be using that API 2 times a month? That feels very wasteful to me.
Yeah.
well, I mean, the status page is not that expensive as far as these things go. I mean, for a small
Yeah,
scrappy business,
status page,
yeah.
no, but like, what are you trying to achieve? Because if you wanna showcase when your uh, partners and your providers aren't living up to their SLAs, ideally you would want to do that with non-test data. You would want to do that with a payload that is relevant. And for that, I would go for SLOs and observability at the app level. But that's a beast to implement. So I get it if you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
But
so
like,
this is the
what is the
non-Yak JV
CFO's
approach.
goal?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, basically, if making claims, like basically getting money back when providers are down. And again, we are trying to make sure that we've got the right information internally, which probably will be SLO monitors and Datadog.
It seems like this is actually a great business opportunity. I don't know, says the guy who hasn't done any research on it. But there are companies out there that will help you automatically get all your duty-free money back. There are companies that out there that'll help negotiate your all your utility bills, cable bills, phone bills down to other rates. Maybe there should be a company that all it does is monitor the status of all these SaaS services and help you claim your discounts based on SLA violations and things like that.
Totally.
I
I
don't know if
was, I,
go on.
go ahead, Eric, sorry.
I don't know if there's enough outages or enough money on the table for it to be viable though.
Well, CFOs only have to think there is, at least for a
Yeah.
while.
I guess it's going to be that, once every 3 year Amazon outage, that's when your business is going to spike and then go down again.
To
All right.
actually get reimbursement from AWS SLAs, you have to provide them with actual requests that fail, though.
Oh, really?
And I know it was a big mess when they had, what was it, the S3 outage, their
Yeah.
big traumatizing outage. Getting SLA credit for that was intense.
Yeah. But a service like this that I described would probably have access, would need access to CloudTrail logs or something of that nature.
Yeah. Well, there's
What?
your argument for multi-cloud, Eric, from last week, because if that ran on AWS and AWS had an outage, then you wouldn't be able to prove that AWS had an outage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, possibly. Or after it comes back, it's probably there in some way.
Yeah.
So you can spend, $2 million operating the second region so you can claim your $50,000 deduction for a service outage.
I happened to be on a call with a couple of Datadog product managers. I think it was like the monitoring guy and the logging guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys should totally be providing metrics on third-party, uptime
That'd be
services.
cool, yeah. And they have probably a
That'd be
lot of
great.
that data
Like
based on what they
a
do.
CAN metric that came from your third parties, boom, fits right in with everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Also,
I do know specifically, sorry, on Datadog. Datadog does have a statuspage.io integration as well. So anytime anyone updates their status in there, you can basically get an alert into your events, and then you could then do things based on that event coming in within Datadog as well. And that you don't need synthetics or anything else to do that.
yeah.
To mention, as somebody that used to run SaaS services at scale, they're like, if Datadog sees issues with a SaaS service that is properly architected, they're gonna see issues with like a single cell or just a couple customers. And that theoretical service would be very, very misleading, because some people would get like everything is working fine, 100%, everything is ideal, and for others it would be
Possibly.
slightly elevated error rates or everything is down. So it's very, very iffy to say when
But
people are affected.
a lot of these hosted monitoring SaaS solutions come out after these big events saying, "Hey, we saw this, 2 hours before Amazon published it," because they have such a bird's eye view of everything going on in the ecosystem. So actually, having a third party kind of neutral source, I bet a lot of outages out there can be observed far before vendors come out with it, if that data were not protected under some privacy rules.